We're going to get started in just a minute, so please file down. There's some empty seats in the center. Please start to come down and take your seats. And again, there's some space in the middle, and we're going to get started with Startup Lab Demo Day in just a minute. Ready? Wake Forest, if you're ready for some demo day, let's hear it. I'm Dan Cohen, and I am the John C. Whitaker Jr. Executive Director of the Center for Entrepreneurship. And along with my co-founder, Greg Poole, we are the co-founders of Startup Lab, and we welcome you here today for the second annual Startup Lab Demo Day. Our students have worked tirelessly for the past 4 months. They came in very early stage, very much at the idea stage, and now here we are 4 months later, and we have several teams that have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue, and a few other teams that are right on the cusp of getting to revenue. These teams have worked super hard, and they're ready to come out and show you their stuff today. Startup Lab reflects the broad liberal arts approach of Wake Forest University. We have software, hardware, clean tech, services, arbitrage, startups across the entire spectrum that matches up with the broad liberal arts disciplines evident at Wake Forest University. Startup Lab has students across all 5 divisions of Wake Forest University, and we have several student athletes participating in Startup Lab that couldn't be here today because they're competing for Wake Forest and representing our university in another capacity. As a reminder, please stay seated at the conclusion of Demo Day, because immediately following Demo Day, we're going to have an awesome keynote from Diana Kander. Let's give a warm welcome to Diana Kander. We're delighted to welcome back Tommy Votter. Tommy Votter joined Greg Poole and I last year as a senior at Wake Forest. He was part of the founding team of getting Startup Lab off the ground. After about a month of working with Tommy, I completely forgot that he was a student. He added so much value. He just joined us and was like a co-founder of Startup Lab. And so now he's a consultant with Ernst & Young, and he's taken time out of his very busy schedule to come back, and he's going to handle the emceeing transition between teams. But I'm going to start it out by bringing up our first team today, and after that, Tommy will take it over. So let's give a warm welcome to the first Startup Lab Demo Day team, Delt.
I've always wondered how long it would take a person to fall in love with playing cards. Let's see how well I do in 5 minutes. It took me 20 years to meet someone who could change my perspective on playing cards. Hi, my name is Yasmin Khosrowshahi, and I am the co-founder of Delt. My partner, Petros Chrysokos, unfortunately cannot be here with us today, but he's here with us in spirit. 6 years ago, he severely injured his back and was bedridden for a few months. He grew bored with his time and decided to take up the art of throwing cards. From there, he got into collecting cards and practicing magic. And to this day, he practices magic and collects cards. He has gone from being just a consumer of playing cards to a producer of playing cards. So quickly, can I have a volunteer? Go ahead, pick a card, any card. Okay, hold on to that card and I'll come back to you. So, Delt. Delt offers individualism through premium custom playing cards. We started off, however, by buying and reselling limited edition decks. So what we would do is we would research which decks were going to be highly anticipated in the market by collectors, and then we would buy them anywhere from $5 to $15 depending on the edition, wait for them to sell out, and then resell them anywhere from $35 to $55. Playing card companies only make a limited number of decks per edition, so once they sell out, that resale value skyrockets. Since we started in October, we've sold around 500 decks and made about $10,000 in profit just on our website and our Instagram. 80% of those have come from our customized decks, which I'll talk about in a minute, and then the rest have come from these limited edition decks. So for instance, with these Carafontaines, we have bought them for about $15 and have resold them for $55 as part of those 500 decks. And then once we put them on our website, we would drive our Instagram traffic to our website to let them know that a new deck was up for sale. We were able to build our credible platform of over 11,000 followers on Instagram by providing rare and limited edition decks that were hard to find in the open market. And after buying and reselling for a long time, we realized we wanted to compete in the same market and started to personalize and customize our own decks. And so our customized decks were born. People love playing cards because it's such a fun and easy way to bond with others. Customers would come to us first wanting to customize just a simple deck for a loved one. It was fun, easy, simple, cheap, and it lasted a super long time. Others would be companies that wanted to brand themselves. What better way to brand yourself than for your logo to appear at least 54 times while playing a game of cards? It's a durable impression of your business because nobody's going to throw away a deck of cards. Even these giants in the market who already have a huge foot are using playing cards to brand themselves. So we have Coca-Cola, Nesquik, Jack Daniels, that bottom one is RJ Reynolds, and then airlines like JetSetter and even universities like Wake Forest. We want to target these large companies as well as small companies to fill a void that large playing card companies are not filling. We also want to work with charities to raise awareness of their cause. So on the left, we have a charity called Water Secure, a nonprofit. And on the right, we are working with late night talk show host Stephen Colbert in collaboration with a charity that he has donated a lot to, Stand Up to Cancer. We also work with celebrities. So behind me is Wake Forest alum and former soccer player here, now MLS Chicago Fire player John Vaccaro. And this is the deck that we designed for him. We also have much lower costs than our competitors who have a minimum order of 1,000 decks. We have no minimum order, so you can order as many as you want. And as part of these high-quality playing cards, we offer graphic designer services so that customers can put their exact ideas down on the cards. We are also super excited about a brand new offering. There's still a lot of white space in the card printing business for opportunity. Anything from how the card can be printed to what can be printed on it. With this, we will have better quality and lower prices for low-run printing. And we'll be able to customize the backs and the fronts and do things such as holographics. So who wants our decks? Our market is composed of collectors, gamblers, magicians, companies, and all of them have taken our market to the next level throughout the decades. We've had indications of areas of interest in all the areas marked in gray, and we've had sales in all the areas marked in red. Our markets. So there are over 200,000 playing card collectors just on Instagram, and they have spent over $160 million just on playing cards. This is how we were able to get traction on our Instagram. And then in just Las Vegas alone, all the casinos use on average 100 million decks per year. This is a market we would like to target in the future. Currently, however, we want to target promotional products budgets for companies so that they could brand themselves, and that industry is worth $21 billion. So if you're not already interested, check out our website and Instagram for more. So earlier I asked someone to pick a card. Yes, so I asked you to pick a card free of choice. You can see the deck is all completely different cards. What was your card? 7 of spades. So what are the chances that Cardboard Trish knows your card? Thank you. Ooh.
Well, that was lucky. But thank you so much, Delt. And up next, we have Stride. Stride Strategic.
But they oftentimes have to commit millions of dollars to doing so. This problem has kept
Thanks so much, Ryan. Up next, we're going to have a video from Fan Park.
Hi everyone, thank you all for being here today. My name is Logan Harvey and I'm the creator and co-founder of Fan Park. Unfortunately, I couldn't be here as I had a university event scheduled prior, but in true entrepreneurial spirit, here I am. Like most of you, I enjoy traveling, but hate dealing with all the variables of it. Booking my flight, getting a table for dinner, getting a rental car, all the things that you have to consider when traveling somewhere that you're not sure of. But what about the time in between getting from your hotel to that meeting you're rushing to or that concert you had hoped to attend? Time is money, right? Searching for parking alone costs drivers over $20 billion per year and accounts for 17 hours wasted on average simply looking for a place to park. You can already reserve that prime real estate of a window seat on an airplane or the table with the best seat in the house at dinner. Why should your parking spot be any different? With Fan Park, now that reservation is possible. Fan Park was created by my father and I to be a marketplace that bridges the gap between event parking and those in search of a coveted parking spot. To put it simply, we are the Airbnb of parking, letting anyone with parking publicize it and anyone in search of parking to reserve a spot ahead of time. Reservation parking is not a new concept, but we fine-tuned the idea with Fan Park. We utilize Fan Park ambassadors so that users always have a person to interact with instead of a 1-800 number. We also added 2 types of verification inside the app itself to ensure the best quality service to users. Lot verification that verifies lot owners actually have parking spots to publicize and sell legally, and reservation verification that ensures a spot is still available before confirmation is sent to both the driver and the lot owner. Cashless transactions through the app itself provide efficiency for the parties involved and are the main revenue stream for Fan Park itself. But this is only the beginning for us. We foresee Fan Park as the first step of our parking platform that would redefine the way parking is handled. Thank you for your time.
Up next, we have Alik Terry from 105 Kicks.
How we doing? How we doing? Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alik Terry, and I'm the founder of 105 Kicks. 105 Kicks is a buy-sell trade sneaker business for new and used premium athletic sneakers. Quick question. Who here has spent more than $500 on a pair of sneakers? Very few. There's hundreds of thousands of people who are doing exactly that on the daily, what is fueling an $1 billion resale sneaker market. I know you're probably asking, who's paying $500 for some sneakers? It's the sneakerheads. And I'm a sneakerhead. Collecting sneakers has been a passion and a hobby of mine the last 10 to 12 years. I know the ins and outs of the sneaker business. I'm really educated in the sneaker business. I can't say the same for physics, but I know my shoes. People constantly ask, why is the resale market worth $1 billion? And why are people paying $160 to $200 for, why are people paying way more for shoes that retail between $160 and $200? I'll tell you exactly why. There's a high demand for premium and limited release sneakers. It just is. But the problem is, with our current distribution methods through our traditional retail stores, it just isn't getting the job done anymore. There was a span about 3-4 years ago where I was camping out in front of sneaker stores every week. Shoe release at Saturday at 10 a.m., Friday at 2:30. I was sitting outside in front of a Foot Locker in the lawn chair with a bag full of snacks, ready for the day ahead to wait to get these sneakers. What was the problem? The sneaker culture has continuously grown. So camping out, big sneaker brands have totally ditched the concept of camping out. People were getting hurt, and it just wasn't safe. So that resulted in 2 things. Companies having specific area releases in just major cities only. Sneakerheads all over the country. What were they supposed to do? And you think the online market was a little bit easier? Wrong. It disallowed for the development of certain softwares like bots. The second a shoe releases at 10 a.m., bots give people the opportunity to solidify a shoe. So as you're flipping your card over and typing this security code, Brandon has just bought 3 pairs of shoes and now the shoes are sold out. And what do sneakerheads do? All sneakerheads are entrepreneurs, believe it or not. So events like SneakerCon and ComplexCon arose. These are large events for a whole day where people come by the thousands to buy, sell, and trade their own sneaker collections. And these things work perfectly, but the problem is they happen every 2 to 3 months. So what was a sneakerhead to do for their daily sneaker needs? I didn't say want, I said needs. And that's where 105 Kicks comes in to save the day. With my unique skill set in acquiring sneakers and my between the networks and relationships I built over the last decade for my shoe love, I've created a platform for sneakerheads to find the sneakers they desire. I want to revolutionize the sneaker purchasing process. All sneakers love the buy, sell, trade process anyway. Why not provide an online platform for them just to do that? The market. This market is estimated, according to Forbes, over $1 billion, and it's continuously growing. We're expected to spend over $220 billion by 2020 on sneakers. Whose fault is that? It's ours, the millennials. We spend $21 billion annually on footwear. So who am I targeting? The millennials. 16 to 24-year-old sneakerheads who love sports, who know the exact reason why LeBron James is dropping a certain colorway on a certain day. But also students. Students care about what other students think of them, and they're highly influenced off social media. And that's exactly what these brands have done. They endorse athletes, celebrities, and musicians, and that's exactly what students are looking for. Milestones to this point. One of my favorite milestones to this point, it was the largest sale I've had, was a pair of Yeezys for $700. In the first quarter of this year, I've made $6,500 worth of revenue through my platform, and the thing I'm most proud, without having a website with that, and the thing I'm most proud of is having 100% positive feedback on all my eBay, Instagram, and Facebook transactions. All transactions to this point have been through social media and eBay platforms. And this is something big because with the resale market continuously growing, people have lied, cheated, and scammed their way into making money. And that's something I pride myself on not doing. I provide quality shoes and quality service. How do I make my money? It's 3 ways. First is the shoe locating services. To be honest, my customer base, I grew my supply early, but I knew how to find shoes. So I just charged a service once I found a person to shoe. Next is the jerseys and clothing. Sneakers and jerseys go together like cookies and milk. It was self-explanatory. I had to add this one. And last was the sneakers. This is the moneymaker, the buy, sell, trade model, the platform. Buying shoes in bulk, buying for cheap, and selling for more. Due to me being a student athlete, I couldn't really give my all to this in the winter. But ever since the beginning of January, these are the amount of shoes that have gone through 105 Kicks, and I plan to continue its growth. What's next? I'd like to officially announce the launch of 105kicks.com. With the launch of 105kicks.com, this allowed me to reach a wider customer base and not have to pay a % every time I make a transaction through eBay. Second is the BBNLB clothing line, big boy, no little boy. As we all can see, I'm a heavy set guy. But the trendiest clothes are hard to find for the big guys. So I want to provide a brand that does just that. And lastly, continuous growth. I want to be known as the home for new and used pre-owned limited release sneakers. What I'm asking for. I'm asking for $60,000 in investment, $20,000 for inventory. This will allow me to reach the market I've already have and the market I plan on grabbing in the near future. $15,000 for app development because it'll be easier for everybody who uses their phones to purchase sneakers. $15,000 in marketing and $10,000 in launching the clothing brand. And most importantly, I want to gain more knowledge and broaden my network. In this industry, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. Thank you. My name is Malik Terry, and this is 105 Kicks.
Thank you so much, Alik. Up next, we have Billy Candela and Kieran Jerfus from Chune.
Does Alik have it? Does Alik have it? Alik has it. Where is it? No, it's not there. Oh, there you go.
Hi, everybody. My name is Billy Candela. I'm the founder of Chune.
My name is Kieran Durfus. I'm the co-founder and lead software developer of Chune.
I'm a big music head, so I'm going to show you guys just a couple of my favorite artists. Drake, Kanye West, Billie Eilish, Kaytranada, The Clash, Kid Cudi, and last but not least, the one and only Pitbull. Mr. 305, Mr. Worldwide. I'm from Miami, so I've always had a soft spot for Pitbull. Now I'm going to show you guys the typical process that a millennial has to go through to get all their music news about Pitbull and to try to stay up to date with everything that Pitbull's doing. First thing they do is open up Spotify to see if Pitbull's put out any new music. Next, they'd open up Instagram because this is how most millennials get their music news today. But the problem with Instagram is that you end up getting pictures like these. Proud to represent the 305, hashtag 305 day, and we're on fire, hashtag fireball. Not real music news, just pictures of his everyday life. So then they'll go to the blogs, like Hot New Hip Hop, to get real music news. They have to open up the blog, go into the search feed, type in Pitbull's name, and they get the articles that Hot New Hip Hop has written about Pitbull. After they're satisfied with the music news they've gotten from these blogs, they'll open up YouTube to see if he's put out any new interviews lately. They have to open up YouTube, go into the search bar, type in Pitbull's name, then filter it by the last month so that hopefully they can find an interview that's recent and that's of good quality. The problem with this whole process is that it takes way too long, it's way too inefficient, and the content is way too scattered. So that's where Chune comes into play. Chune is the Bleacher Report for music. It's a one-stop shop for all your music news. And if you don't know what Bleacher Report is one of the world's most popular sports news sites. And what makes it so popular is that it's personalized. You go into their site, you pick your favorite sports teams, you get a personalized feed based on those teams. We want to do the same thing, but for music. So you would go into our site, pick your favorite artists, and you get a personalized feed based on those artists. You'll get all the latest articles, interviews, and music of your favorite artists fed to you, updated by the minute in real time.
So here's some market validation. What we found that the top 4 music blogs don't have near the critical mass that they deserve. They have under 30 million monthly users. So once Tune is in full swing, those monthly users are going to look more like Instagram. Beyonce has 113 million followers, and all of them are going to be using Tune to find their Beyonce news. A similar situation happens on YouTube. YouTube is the wrong platform for people who are trying to watch high-quality interviews. The Breakfast Club is the most influential urban hip-hop radio station in the country with 30 million unique listeners on a weekly basis. But they only have 2 million subscribers on YouTube. Tune is going to fix that problem.
So Bleacher Report has been able to get all the great sports content that sports blogs have been producing and that people had been missing out on, and they were able to put it all into one place in a way that's personalized and easily accessible. And by doing this, they've been able to reach over 250 million plus users per month. And this is what we want to do with Tune. We want to get all the great content that music blogs and vlogs are producing and that people are missing out on, and we want to feed it to people in a way that's personalized and that's easily accessible.
So this is our web app. This is what we have built right now. It's our minimum viable product. And what we've done is build a comprehensive web scraping algorithm that goes out across the internet to over 50 different music blogs and over 100 different YouTube channels and finds all of that content and brings it right to you. So I like DJ Khaled and Selena Gomez, and so as I flip through my Tune newsfeed, that's what I'm watching. The most recent Breakfast Club interview, the most recent Sway in the Morning interview. Also, if those artists put out new music, that's also going to show up on your newsfeed because we've integrated Spotify.
Ultimately, what we want it to look like is like an Instagram feed. We're not there yet, but we're almost there.
Yep. So Bleacher Report has had a lot of its success on its iOS app, and what we know is that millennials are using their phones. So we'd like to build an iOS app with the same form as our web platform. And we have 2 types of revenue-generating clients. The first is the music blogs themselves. Just like Yelp and Apartments.com, these music blogs are going to come to us and pay us a monthly subscription to be featured more prominently on our newsfeed.
The second way we're going to monetize is through merchandise. We're going to offer users a monthly subscription, and with this subscription, we're going to send them apparel that's related to current internet trends. And this is something that some of the major sports media sites that are targeting millennials are doing, and they're doing it successfully, like Barstool and Bleacher Report. For example, Bleacher Report last year did a test run on a sweater that sold for $60, and it was related to the viral Hoodie Mellow meme, and they sold out within hours. Our team, I'm a senior here at Wake, I'm an economics major, and I have past work experience at Bacardi and with the strategy and development department at Ryder.
I'm also a senior at Wake Forest. I'm studying economics and computer science, and I'm a graduate of Full Stack Academy of Code, which is the top-ranked software engineering academy in the United States. So this is our ask. It's $200,000, and we're going to break that down into 4 distinct categories. The first is content creation. What we found is that Bleacher Report has had a lot of success creating their own unique content and putting it on their social media. Second, our iOS app. Like I said, millennials are using their phones. We'd like to build out a full iOS presence. And our web app, we'd like to develop further to make it look nicer. And of course, we're going to get our name out there with marketing.
Tune wants to be the millennial voice for music heads, not only domestically, but internationally. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Greg Poole, and along with Dan Cohen, co-founded Startup Lab. I have to say that working with these student teams is the coolest thing that I could think of to do. It's a lot of fun. We love working with them. We love seeing what they grow through. I want to take a couple minutes while we get the next team set up to have a couple alumni of Startup Lab come up and give an update as to where they are right now, who they're working with, and why they're still in town. So to lead off will be
Hey guys, I'm Mike Thomas from Resilience Gives. You may realize that I'm not Jake, the founder, but I am the Director of Operations and Patient Experience. But being here at Wake Forest and Startup Lab was really valuable because if you ever heard the phrase, like, you don't know what you don't know, it kind of helped us realize, think through things we may have not have thought of and really establish a good foundation to build the business that we wanted to build. Some more updates, or an update is last summer we were accepted into Mass Challenge, which is one of the world's largest accelerator programs, and we didn't get anything, financially, nothing financial came from that, but their network is really big, and we found a group of people that are on the advisory board that are mentors to us, that we bounce ideas off of, that we consult on a pretty regular basis, that really want to help us grow our business. So it was really valuable in that perspective. And in that time, we were able to grow quite a bit. When Jake was really doing this solo, and I was kind of helping out here and there, you reach capacity really quickly. So I came on full time, and so now we have 2 people working full time on this, and really allow us, go from 5 patients that we service, 37, and we're currently working on a lot more. So what we're trying to do this year is, service 200 plus patients, and one of the biggest things we're doing is, we've been bootstrapping from day one, and we have a bunch of Band-Aid solutions tied together to make our website look pretty good, but we're trying to automate the entire process. So from designing socks to putting a fundraising page, we would love for our computer systems to kind of do it themselves. So if we took our hands off the computer, that our business would run and grow kind of alone. So that's a little update from Resilience Gives.
Hello, I'm Lauren Miller.
And I'm Olivia Wolf, and we're from Updog Kombucha. The last time that we were on stage for Demo Day last year was the last time that we were in front of you all. So a little update from us is in the last year we have totaled over 90 accounts. So our kombucha is sold in more than 90 locations. And I have since moved to Charlotte to expand in that market. And Lauren has been expanding in the Raleigh-Durham market as well as Boone. One of our big goals for the year was to expand into more college campuses, so we're really glad to say that you can find our kombucha on campus in the convenience stores at Wake Forest, Davidson, Elon, and University of South Carolina.
We're so happy to be here today because so much of our growth is attributed to the experience we had in Startup Lab. In Startup Lab, they set up really high expectations along with intensive mentorship, which really spurred our growth since over the summer. We're super excited to be back, and we're looking forward to giving back to this community in the future.
Well, thank you both for the update. Both of these teams, as well as other Startup Lab teams, are now spending time in Winston Starts, an accelerating co-working space located downtown made possible by Friends of the University and Friends of Entrepreneurship. And we're excited that teams like these are now able to stay in Winston-Salem. It's a great thing for our community and a great thing for our university. With that, getting back to the Demo Day presentations, up next is Huberto Shamalas.
How's everybody doing today? It is an honor to be here. My name is Huberto Shimelas, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Semeni-Qutric, a company that provides convenient and efficient tour service in Ethiopia for tourists around the world. I'm from Ethiopia, and please allow me to share the beauty of my country in this short video. I grew up in Semini Mountains, northern part of Ethiopia, taking care of my family's 200 sheep and a few horses. I would spend the night in the cave sleeping with my animals, and then I would spend the day in the mountains searching for food for my animals, as well as interacting with tourists who came to visit the majestic mountains of Ethiopia. And that is where my entrepreneurship mindset started. I would make hats from sheep wool and sold those for tourists. Not only that, but also I would let the tourists ride my horses so that I can make more money in order to increase my earnings. But later, I started school, and I had to walk 5 hours barefoot looking for education. To make my hiking easier, I made shoes from old car tires. And this is the shoe that I used to make. You're welcome to try it if you would like afterward. At that same school, I met Blake Mycoskie, the founder and chief shoe giver of Tom Shoes. With his and his family's support, I was able to move to the United States and eventually Wake Forest University to continue my education. With the opportunities I have here and then supports from my mentors, I wanted to grow my childhood dream into a big business. And that is why I started Semini Kotrik. Whether you are a filmmaker, a philanthropic, a volunteer, or someone who is going to Ethiopia to explore, we provide specific itineraries based on your wishes and interests. We take care of everything, from booking your flight all the way to hiring a personal chef so that you can focus only and only on the purpose of your trip. What makes us unique from other tour companies is that, one, we know every corner of the cave, both literally and figuratively. Second, we have great local connections who will welcome you with open hands and give you big kisses in the cheeks as part of the hospitality of Ethiopia. We have new tour destinations that never been exposed to tourists, so you can be the first one to discover it. We have services in more than 10 languages. This is our team. We have several years of experience in the tourism industry, and we know everything about Ethiopia. My co-founder, Mulushua, has been working as an independent tour guide for the past 10 years. In fact, he has given a service for 127 tourists since this past January. When it comes to the marketing growth of the tourism industry in Ethiopia, it is skyrocketing. In fact, between 2010 and 2015, the number of tourists that visited Ethiopia doubled. By 2020, 2.5 million tourists is expected to visit Ethiopia. Out of those tourists, our goal at Semini Kotrik is to give a service for 1,000 tourists. With this goal, we'll be able to generate $8 million of revenue, and our net profit from that revenue would be $1 million by the end of 2020. Our target market is high-class customers between the ages of 45 and 65. When it comes to our business model, our service on average costs us $8,000 per week per person. And $7,000 is our expense. And that's the breakdown of our expense. That leaves us with a net profit of $1,000. 90% of our profit goes to our company, whereas 10% of our profit goes to support children's education in the Semini Mountains. Because we at Semini Kotrik believe that we can do well by doing good. When it comes to our marketing strategy, we want to focus on the customer's experience. For this, we're doing a testing this summer, and we have already 30 tourists confirmed and in 10 in process. Once they complete their trip, they'll be our ambassador and help us advertise our company. Not only that, but also I'm a filmmaker. So this summer, I'll be in Ethiopia producing a film for Semini Kotrik so that we can put it on a different platform and advertise it that way. Now, I'm here today for two things. One, I would love to invite you to be our first-year customer so that you can have the chance to explore Ethiopia. Second, I'm asking you to help us advertise Semini Kotrik by sharing our stories with your friends and families. Now, who is ready to join Semini Kotrik? Thank you.
Up next we have Sam Perkins from Hype.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Sam Perkins, and I'm the co-founder of Hype. Hype is a reservation booking system similar to the OpenTable or Yelp reservations of the world. However, the way that we differentiate ourselves is that we specialize in solving the no-show diner problem. Our story revolves around the restaurant industry. Last summer, I worked a marketing and sales job at Facebook in Austin, Texas, a city I was completely unfamiliar with. On the weekend, I found myself booking 2 to 3 reservations for one night, deciding which one to go to last minute and leaving the others high and dry. One night, I invited my good friend Matt D'Souza out to eat with me. And not knowing that his dad was an influential player in the restaurant industry, I let him know what I was up to. I was embarrassed, and he was disappointed. He let me know that I was contributing to a huge problem cutting into the razor-thin margins of the restaurant industry. So I decided to look into the problem that I was in fact contributing to. And what I found was astonishing. That 1 in 5 diners do not show up to a reservation. That's 20% of restaurant bookings. And with margins of around 3 to 5%, restaurants cannot afford to lose that type of business. Last year alone in the United States, the restaurant industry lost over $18 billion because of the no-show diner. Now, there's a huge technical component to building out the solution to this problem, which is why I brought on my co-founder and technical lead, Nicholas Aldridge. Nick has experience in developing neural networks, as well as experience in developing mobile apps and websites. My skill set perfectly complements that of Nick. I have experience in business intelligence, business development, finance, and most recently, sales and marketing. Together, we have the skill set and the drive to solve the no-show diner problem. Now, let's get into how this thing works. Our user simply downloads the app, creates their own profile, and inputs their credit card information one time. When they first log in, they have the ability to preference their favorite types of food, drink, and venue. And then Hype does the rest. We populate restaurants that are most in line with the preferences of our user, allowing them to choose the best locations closest to them. When they choose which restaurant they'd like to book and which incentive appeals to them, they simply sign a booking agreement, which holds them accountable to a deposit should they not show up for the reservation. However, should they show up for the reservation, they are not charged that booking deposit fee, and they still receive the incentive on top of their meal. Now, we know that cancellations happen, so if our user cancels up to 6 hours before the time period of the reservation, then they will not be held accountable for that deposit, giving restaurants ample time to refill those seats. Now, our customer are the restaurants that we service on our platform. And the beauty of Hype is that we guarantee our customer revenue no matter what, whether the customer shows up for the reservation or not. On top of this, we provide them with a promotion platform which allows them to push out incentives and deals to their target customers, as well as the ability to scale what that incentive is, which could be anything from a percentage discount on a meal to a free bottle of red wine with your steak dinner. On top of this, they can scale out the time period for which these incentives last. But we are so much more than a promotion platform. We give restaurants the insight they need to scale out their inventory as well as their staffing. Hype has created a front-end mobile app solution for our users and a back-end website solution for our customers, and the two interact with one another. In the future, we will launch an initiative to roll out full-funnel customer acquisition metrics for our customer, as well as the ability to pay through our platform for our user. Now, we have created a win-win-win solution for our users, for restaurants, and for Hype. Our users win because we give them insight into the best incentives and deals which are in line with their preferences. Restaurants win because they're guaranteed revenue no matter what and have the ability to scale out their staffing and inventory. And Hype wins because we take a $4 booking fee whether the user or the restaurant's customer shows up to the reservation or not. And although the restaurant is paying us that $4 booking fee, we've done the math and estimated that we can save restaurants on our platform over $25,000 a year just through signing up with Hype. We are essentially the booking service that every restaurant and food lover wished they had. Now, company traction thus far has been very positive. Out of 206 total customer discovery interviews, 88% of our customers have said that they would sign up and use Hype. 92% of users said that they would book through Hype for an incentive. We have built out our prototype, and in the future look forward to scaling out the production of our website and mobile app interfaces to further test the market. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you that Hype has competition, and that makes a lot of sense in a $263 billion market. However, our big name competitors such as OpenTable and Yelp Reservations do not solve the no-show diner problem, nor can they guarantee restaurants revenue. This is being done on an individual basis by high-end restaurants such as Michelin star restaurants who have the luxury of charging an upfront booking fee per head. We're scaling this model to the rest of the industry. Now, our team ask today is $200,000. $100,000 to build out our app and web solutions, as well as bring on a mobile app developer, a website developer, and a designer, and then $100K for marketing and customer acquisition initiatives, which will include SEO, social media campaigns, and Google AdWords. Now, our investors will see a return on this investment because once we build up our user and customer base, we will look to be acquired. And these are the most probable candidates. This year, TripAdvisor acquired a French restaurant booking company for $140 million. And Priceline just recently acquired OpenTable for $2.3 billion, solidifying the fact that there is a market for our type of product. We are looking forward to revolutionizing the restaurant industry, and we hope that you will join us. Thank you.
Up next, we have Sam and Gordon from Storage Scholars.
Hello everyone, thank you for having us. My name is Sam Chasen and I am the founder of Storage Scholars, a full-service door-to-door storage and shipping company.
And my name is Gordon Walsh, General Manager of Storage Scholars. So, although it would be nice if everyone lived in the same state or even country that they went to school in, that's very much not the case. Currently, 10% of all students are international, and the number of international and out-of-state college students has grown exponentially since the year 2000. Now, come the end of the year, these students all run into a very similar problem. What am I going to do with all my things that I can't take on a plane? For these students, it's really not easy to acquire the means to self-store, like getting a unit, packing supplies, transportation, especially not during the most stressful time of the school year. So, instead of dealing with all the hassle themselves, they can turn to a convenient solution in Storage Scholars.
So the average customer experience looks like this. You sign up on our website, you receive free boxes and packing supplies. You pack up your items, and then a Wake Forest University student will come directly to your door, pick up these belongings, and then hand them off to a professionally trained mover who will then take these items to an off-campus, climate-controlled, insured storage facility. Come the following year, we re-return your items to your new living location. So now the team comprises of myself. I've always had the entrepreneurial spirit, been starting and growing businesses since I was 5 years old. And when I got into Wake, I had to find a way to pay for the really expensive tuition. So one thing kind of led into the next. I saw a huge low barrier to entry in the storage and shipping market, as well as a huge gap here at Wake. So with the help of my brother, we launched our first website, and we were off to the races. And as we've expanded this year, I brought Gordon on board with his analytical mindset and attention to detail, but mainly as I found out, he's just a reliable workhorse, as well as Andrew and Caleb to serve as our first campus managers. So last year on Wake Forest campus, we had $18,000 in revenue. And with that came a perfect record of no losses, breaks, or customer complaints. This year, we have over 3 times the amount of customers currently signed up, and given past experience, around 80% of students won't sign up until the last 2 weeks of the semester. So coupling that with the fact that we're currently on 5 campuses with plans to possibly expand to more in the coming weeks, we have projected revenue of $250,000, which is a 1,300% increase from last year's numbers.
So competition in this market really comes in 2 forms. First are your large-scale companies, and these companies can operate on up to hundreds of campuses nationwide. And they outsource all of their labor and logistics, so they act more as an advertising platform than a storage company. And on the flip side, are smaller companies that rely solely on students to carry out each step of their process, which hinders their ability to grow quickly. With Storage Scholars, we plan to bridge the gap between the two. So we're going to use student managers and employees to interact with the customer at every step of the way, and then also have professional labor to ensure high quality and safety of your items. By having these students, it allows us to practice true door-to-door delivery. So last year, I actually stored my items over the summer with a different company than Sam's. And so they promised me that door-to-door delivery. But when I returned to campus this fall, I was remiss to find all of my items in the parking lot behind my dorm, which forced my mom and I to carry it up 4 flights of stairs in the 90-degree North Carolina summer heat. Now that was a terrible experience, and one that we don't want any of our customers to have. So therefore, we guarantee door-to-door delivery for each and every person. Additionally, we're focused on having environmentally friendly practices and targeting the international market. We use flex fuel vehicles, storage facilities close by to campus, and a box recycling program, as well as have infrastructure in place to directly reach international students and parents, and offer a service to incoming international freshmen to ship their belongings to be stored the summer before their freshman year. All in all, Storage Scholars offers a premium service for the guaranteed lowest prices on campus.
So last year on Wake Forest campus, in just 1 year, we've been able to increase our customer base and revenue 6-fold. Now as we expand to campuses with a similar demographic to Wake, we expect nearly identical revenue, which is going to yield huge growth potential. So 5 years from now, by 2023, we expect to be serving customers and students on 30 campuses with $3 million in annual revenue. So we've been able to bootstrap the company thus far, so we're not here today seeking any sort of monetary investment. Rather, first and foremost, we're looking for customers. So if you, a friend, or a classmate is in need of a place to store your belongings over the summer, storagescholars.com takes less than 2 minutes to sign up, and you'll have one less thing to worry about during finals week. Now, second, we're looking for connections at universities. This comes in 2 forms. The first is we're looking for student managers. So these are motivated and responsible underclassmen that will run our day-to-day operations and head our marketing initiatives. And second, we're looking for any connections you may have with administration at other universities that will allow us to get a foot in the door at obtaining preferred vendor contracts at companies and schools we expand to. So thank you very much for having us. We are Storage Scholars, and we look forward to the opportunity of working together in the future. Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, we have Lauren, Annabelle, Claire, Alexis, and Courtney from Nori.
All right, good afternoon, and thank you for having us. My name is Courtney Toll, and I'm one of 5 co-founders of Nori.
I'm Alexis Schmidtline.
Annabelle Love. Lauren Connors.
Claire O'Brien.
And we are Nori, an innovative handheld wrinkle solution based off the technology of a hair straightener. So who here currently enjoys the process of ironing? Understandable. That's something that you have in common with the average Nori user, so let me introduce her. Meet Erin Reynolds. She's a young female professional living in a cramped urban apartment and happens to be a good friend and roommate of mine. She's trying to make a strong first impression at work, but is constantly dealing with the problem of wrinkled clothing. When she wakes up in the morning, she doesn't have the space in her apartment for an ironing board, nor the time to fill up an iron or steamer with water. Her friend recommended that she use a hair straightener to press out those pesky wrinkles, but a device designed for hair did not solve all of her issues.
Introducing Nori, the solution for young professionals' wrinkles frustrations. Unlike our competitors, which include clunky irons and leaky steamers, Nori is the first solution based off the technology of a hair straightener to press your clothing. Nori features elongated plates to reach across a garment while it remains on the hanger so you can quickly press it. In addition, Nori also has fabric-specific heat settings to ensure that your garment is pressed both safely and effectively according to fabric type. When it comes to our competitors, when you look at irons, as I said, they're clunky and require a large board, which takes up a ton of space. And then looking towards steamers, they take forever to heat up with all of that water and steam, and then once it is heated up, that steam can then translate into stains all over your clothing. That's why we found ourselves looking towards hair straighteners. But once we started using them, we realized that the plates were too short to reach the wrinkles in the middle of a garment, and on top of that, we had no idea what kind of heat setting we should be using, so we risked burning our clothes. That's why we've developed the first prototype of Nori, which I have here, which is 3D printed and patent pending. Again, it is based off that technology of a hair straightener, but it has these elongated plates and fabric-specific heat settings.
To make sure that Erin wasn't the only one facing this problem, we turned to extensive customer discovery and completed 500+ interviews, and man, did we get some hot results. 94% of the people were bothered by wrinkled clothing, showing that this is a persistent problem that many people face. And 78% were unsatisfied with current market solutions and were actively trying to find another solution to this problem.
We then vapor tested our website, spending absolutely no money on marketing or advertising, and in a quick 48 hours, we had 1,200 unique page visits, a majority of it falling within our target market, and 45% clicked I'm interested without a prototype, and 36 people even inserted their credit card information trying to buy one because that's how much they need a Nori.
Our early adopters are women like Erin. These are 18 to 24-year-old professional women living in the top 10 most populated U.S. cities. We are targeting professionals primarily because we know that on average, appearance-driven workers earn 7 to 13% more than their less presentable colleagues. In addition, 64% of hiring managers agree that appearance does and should play a major role in the hiring process. In addition, Nori is perfect for travel and on-the-go users, making it an ideal mass-market product. Now, if you're a man in the audience thinking, I want one too, you're not alone. We foresee in the future Nori gaining traction among customers outside of our target market, specifically men who see how easy it can be to iron their clothes without water or boards. Nori is entering a $1 billion total available market that is currently dominated by outdated and ineffective wrinkle solutions.
We've sourced Nori through numerous manufacturers and have determined an average cost of unit of $10. This, coupled with a $50 customer willingness to purchase, yields an 80% gross profit margin. In our first year, we aim to surpass our 11,000 unit break-even point, projecting sales of 20,000 units. This will generate $1 million in revenue and over $300,000 in net profit. This net profit will be reinvested into creating a strong brand image. We're going to advertise on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat in order to draw in users, as well as utilize Google AdWords and search engine optimization. Moreover, in order to capture our millennial audience, we're going to create strategic partnerships with Instagram influencers in order to drive customers to our website where they will purchase the Nori, and then we'll make sure that the quality is top-notch before shipping it to them. Right now, we're operating in a B2C area, but we can foresee Nori coming into a B2B space as well. We can have partnerships with hotels, retail chains, and even laundry services.
We are 5 ambitious female entrepreneurs that happen to fall within our target market, making us best suited to serve this problem. We've quickly learned that you don't get a second chance at first impressions. Everyone in this room has experienced frustration with wrinkles, and Nori is a millennial solution to a timeless problem. We ask that you join us in empowering women such as ourselves and all the Erins of the world to press for success.
You're probably now wondering how you can be a part of the Nori story. Today, we asked for $300,000 for 20%. The price breakdown is behind me. The highest cost being manufacturing our first year's mold and the production cost of our first year's inventory. The second highest cost will be allocated towards marketing because we're looking forward to implementing really strong and aggressive marketing tactics to make sure that Nori is a very memorable brand. Ultimately, we're really looking forward to growing a valuable company that is responsive to the needs of today's women. Thank you so much, and feel free to follow us on Instagram, Nori Startup.
Putting on a program like Startup Lab takes a ton of resources, and we couldn't do it without support at the very top of the university. President Hatch just made his way out on his way to another engagement, but he was here watching what we were doing. I look over, I see Dean Michelle Gillespie here, always supporting us, a big champion of what we do. Provost Kirsch, a big supporter, former professor of social entrepreneurship at New York University before he came to Wake Forest. Look over, I see Andy Chan, Vice President of Innovation at Wake Forest. So it's really difficult to do something like this without the true support at the very top of the university. So let's give those folks a round of applause. My partner in crime, Greg Poole, and I, we absolutely are passionate and love coaching these startups, but it is absolutely a team effort, and we have been helped by some really great mentors last year and this year. I look out in the crowd, I see John Whitaker, a tremendous mentor and great entrepreneur in his own right. I see Gordon Hester, one of the most committed mentors I've ever been around in 13 years of doing this. Melissa Hawks, Steve Nelson, Clay Dade, Kristen McClellan, Peter Cordell, Jack Benson, Alex Smersnak, Bill D'Alessandro, Lisa Rhodes, and Fred Saint are also Wake Forest connected entrepreneurs that have helped us develop the Startup Lab teams. If interested in applying or finding out more about Startup Lab for next year, we're already fielding a lot of inquiries. Please reach out to myself or to Greg Poole. But right now, let's pay some respect for some serious work. Let's hear it for Startup Lab, class of 2018. We're good? Good? Okay. All right. So as mentioned, we are not done. We're just getting started, actually, with Entrepalooza. We have a really special guest here today. She's kind of a big deal. Her name is Diana Kander, and I'll just read this briefly, and then I want to make a couple quick comments. Diana Kander and her family escaped from the Soviet Union when she was 8 years old. By the time she was an American citizen, she'd perfected her skills as an entrepreneur, selling flea market goods to grade school classmates at a markup. Today, Diana is the Director of Innovation, Culture, and Habits for Maddox Douglas, a Chicago-based innovation consulting firm. In this role, she trains executives and Fortune 1000 companies to be more innovative and inspires employees to think like entrepreneurs. How did she get here? Diana was a Georgetown-educated attorney who left her successful law practice to start and sell a number of ventures. The business has spanned a number of industries: software, real estate, hospitality, construction, staffing, and consulting. She's a serial entrepreneur. After the sale of her last company, Diana spent 3 years as a senior fellow at the Ewing Marion Kauffman Foundation, the largest nonprofit in the world dedicated to entrepreneurship and education, and 2 years as a professor at the University of Missouri, a professor of entrepreneurship in the MBA program there at the University of Missouri. Diana is also the author of New York Times bestselling All In Startup, a novel outlining lessons for launching a successful startup. The book has been used in over 70 colleges to teach innovation and entrepreneurship. Diana lives in Kansas City, Missouri, with her high school sweetheart and husband, Jason, and their awesome 4.5-year-old son, True. Just a quick comment. All In Startup's a novel. And sometimes academics look at a novel and say, well, there's not much substance there. Well, I'll tell you, in 13 years of teaching entrepreneurship full-time, I've probably read hundreds of entrepreneurship textbooks. This is one of the very best books on entrepreneurship ever. She's taken a field, agile development, right? A field by engineers, written for engineers, and it's totally dry. And she's somehow managed to write a racy, sexy, fun-to-read novel that really teaches a ton about lean startup. And so really, we are honored to have a special guest with us today at Wake Forest University. Let's give a warm Wake Forest welcome to Diana Kander.
Thank you so much. Good. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. So I used to work with the Kauffman Foundation, and I was an MBA professor at the University of Missouri. I have been around a lot of entrepreneurial student teams. I've never seen a cohort of companies that were more exciting ever in my history of being around student startups. So one more round of applause. I use my hair straightener on my to make creases in my jacket all the time. I am a target customer for that product, no question. And I'm just so excited to be here. Wake Forest uses my book in a lot of classes, so I've been excited to make the trip down. And I've known about Dan since his time at Cornell and all the incredible things he was doing there. And just seeing the program that he's been able to create here, it's unbelievable. Like, I wish I could spend more time here. I can't wait